Assalamu alaikum guys. So this is going to be an explanation video of task 2 pre-release material May June 2022. Assuming you guys have already done task 1, which is pretty straightforward. It is just you just have to initialize some arrays with some values. So the camera is going to be a bit shaky, please bear with me. The first line has some variables being initialized to 0, which is A, C, S, F and G. This is going to contain the number of tickets being bought by the customer for adult, child, senior, family and group. And then we have two repeat statements. I'm going to start with the green one first. So the repeat statement, the green part, in this loop we are trying to get what ticket the user wants to purchase, whether it's adult, child, senior, family or group, by entering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have included this if condition that is going to ensure that the data is between 1 and 5, and if it's not, it's going to display an error message, invalid option, try again, and it's going to repeat the loop over again until the user enters a value between 1 and 5. Moving ahead, then we have this if statement which checks what ticket option the user selected for the first 4 tickets, excluding the group ticket, because we need to do something else for the group part. So for tickets 1 to 4, if the user have selected, then we're going to ask the user how many tickets the user wants to purchase, and the variable that is going to contain is HM. And then we have this case statement. Whatever the value of ticket is that the user selected in this part, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the case statement is going to check whether if it's 1, is going to add HM to A and store it in A, the concept of totaling. Likewise for C, child, senior and family. Okay, so if the ticket selected in this part was for group, then the code is going to jump to the else part, and then we have these statements over here for the group part. We're going to ask the user to enter how many adults, child and senior are there in group, and then we're going to add it up and store it, or add up all those values and store it in the variable called G. So G would have the total number of people going in group. Of course, we should have done is we should have checked whether the value of GA plus GC plus GS is greater than 6 or not. I haven't included that part, so I'm going to add that. How do we do this? So I'm going to add that later on. So after we have done that, the code is asking the user whether the user wants to add more people in this booking. If the response is no, then we need to check whether the ratio of adult, senior and child is being maintained or not. So the way we are doing it is we are adding up all the adults for single tickets, and adding up all the seniors and adults and seniors in group as well. We are adding up all of that, and we are checking whether that value multiplied by 2 is less than C plus GC or not. All the childs are being compared with all the adults and seniors. If it's not, if the value is less than C plus GC, which is all the childs, if the number of childs are more than twice than that of adults and seniors combined, then it's going to display an error message, invalid number of children per adult, add more adults or seniors, and it's going to replace the value of RESP variable with Y. Remember the user, and assuming that the user entered no over here in this question, you want to add more people in this booking. So it's going to change that to Y, and the code is going to repeat itself from this part over to this initial repeat that we missed out, the black repeat part. So it's going to keep on repeating until the user enters keep on adding people in the group, people in the booking, or if the ratio is not being maintained. So after we have done this, then we're going to move on, and we're going to calculate the total number of people in the group. So total number of people altogether in the booking, which is A plus C plus S plus F into 5, because a family ticket has 5 people in it, plus group. And then we are asking the user whether it's a 1-day ticket or a 2-day ticket. Of course, we have done error checking over here as well. Moving ahead, then we have this extra attractions that the user can take. So the first one was line fairing. We are asking the user to enter how many line fairing tickets the user wants to purchase, and I've done error checking over here as well. If the line fairing tickets being purchased is more than the total number of people, or if it's less than 0, then it's going to display an error message, invalid, and it's going to keep on repeating itself. So likewise, we're going to add for penguin feeding as well. Right, so we have this the code to check to get the number of penguin feeding tickets. The same thing is being done over here. I'm doing error checking if it's not whether the user has entered a value that's greater than total number of people going, or if it's less than 0, error, and then the loop repeats until the value is correct. And lastly, we have this we are checking if the number of days the user chose was equal to 2. So if it's 2, then only then evening barbecue should be offered. So if it's equal to 2, then along with the previous line fairing and penguin fairing tickets, the code is going to ask how many evening barbecue tickets, and the same procedure for error checking is being done over here. After this is done, then I'm checking if the day selected was 1. If it was a 1-day ticket, then we're going to calculate the total cost by multiplying the values of A, C, S, F, G with the values in COD cost for 1 day. And if it's not equal to 1, then we're going to multiply it with CTD cost of 2 day, and then we increase the value of BN by 1, BN being the booking number, and lastly we display all the values of these all these variables, the details of the booking that is being made. Next, we're going to see how we can perform task 3.